nature of self and self-awareness.
Good day everyone, I am Rhea Ann Bibinosa. What is self-awareness? Psychologists Shelley Duvall and Robert Wickland proposed this definition. Self-awareness is the ability to focus on yourself and how your actions, thoughts, or emotions do or don't align with your internal standards. If you're highly self-aware, you can objectively evaluate yourself, manage your emotions, align your behavior with your values, and understand correctly how others perceive you. Put simply, those who are highly self-aware can interpret their actions, feelings, and thoughts objectively. It's a rare skill, as many of us spiral into emotion-driven interpretations of our circumstances. Developing self-awareness is important because it allows leaders to assess their growth and effectiveness and change course when necessary. That's all. Thank you.
Good day everyone, I'm AC Biana Caridad Bonus and I'm going to discuss kinds of self-awareness. There are two distinct kinds of self-awareness, the public and the private. Public self-awareness, being aware of how we can appear to others. Because of this consciousness, we are more likely to adhere to social norms and behave in ways that are socially acceptable. While there are benefits of this type of awareness, there is also the danger of tipping into self-consciousness. Those who are especially high in this trait may spend too much time worrying about the others think of them. Sometimes, because of our public awareness, we worry about what they think of us. And the second is private self-awareness. Being able to notice and reflect on one's internal state. Those who have private self-awareness are introspective, approaching their feelings and reaction with curiosity. For example, you may notice yourself tensing up as you're preparing for an important meeting. Noticing the physical sensation and correcting, attributing them to your anxiety about meeting would be an example of private self-awareness. When self-awareness tips self-consciousness, we are reluctant to share certain aspect of ourselves. We develop a person that lacks authenticity.
Why is self-awareness important? The URIC group has researched the nature of self-awareness. Their research indicates that when we look inward, we can clarify our values, thoughts, feelings, behaviors, strengths, and weaknesses. We are able to recognize the effect that we have on others. URIC's research finds that people with self-awareness are happier and have better relationships. They also experience a sense of personal and social control as well as higher job satisfaction. When we look outward, we understand how people view us. People who are aware of how people see them are more likely to be empathetic to people with different perspectives. Leaders whose self-perception matches others' perceptions are more likely to empower, include, and recognize others. So, according to URIC's research, people who are self-aware are happier and interact with others more effectively. They are more content in their jobs and feel more in control of their personal and social lives as well. If a leader's self-perception is in sync with that of others, they are more likely to empower, include, and recognize them. Here are some examples of common benefits of self-awareness. First, it gives us the power to influence outcomes. Second, it helps us to become better decision makers. Third, it gives us more self-confidence, so as a result, we communicate with clarity and intentions. Fourth, it allows us to understand things from multiple perspectives. 5. It frees us from our assumptions and biases. 6. It helps us build better relationships. 7. It gives us a greater ability to regulate our emotions. 8. It decreases stress. 9. It makes us happier.
Good day to all of you. So now we will discuss about emotional self-awareness. First, we must know what is emotional self-awareness. Emotional self-awareness is the ability to understand your own emotions and their effects on your performance. You know what you are feeling and why and how it helps or hurts what you are trying to do. You sense how others see you and so align your self-image with a larger reality. So how can we be emotionally aware? First, you must observe your own emotional tendencies. You can only learn to manage your own emotions if you learn to recognize them in the first place. Second is don't judge yourself. Every emotion you have, positive and negative, is a useful piece of information that can teach you something about your own needs and preferences. Now, what does it mean to be aware of one's emotions? Emotional awareness means knowing when feelings are present in ourselves and others. It is closely related to emotional literacy, which means being able to label feelings with specific feeling words. And now, why is it important to be aware of your own emotions? Emotional awareness helps us know what we need and want or don't want. It helps us build better relationships.
What is accurate self-awareness? Accurate self-awareness is the ability of a person to accurately examine themselves, knowing exactly what they are capable of and what their strengths and limitations are, and also knowing one's internal states, preference, resources, and intuitions. Not all of us have this ability. This is important because it allows us to identify the strengths, weaknesses, and identify areas we might need to improve upon. It is important that you not judge or criticize yourself, just notice. Being aware of your own personal limitations allow for growth and can help you to set goals for yourself.
Accurate self-awareness. Self-awareness is having an accurate understanding of ourselves that includes knowing our strengths, challenges, values, emotions, and hopes for the future. When people have a stronger self-awareness skills, they are better equipped for success. When we are more self-aware, we are better at understanding ourselves. And self-awareness, we identify changes we want to make and recognize our strengths so we can build on them. Self-awareness is often a first step goal setting. Developing self-awareness requires higher level cognitive processing. Self-awareness have a better ability to reflect on their leadership skills and foster stronger sense of teamwork. Self-awareness helps people review their skills sets to better contribute and build a company culture that values teamwork. Self-awareness is a skill anyone can improve with the right tools and a little practice. Accurate self-awareness builds healthy self-esteem by making us more proactive and encouraging positive self-development. It allows us to experience pride in ourselves and our accomplishments. It tends steps toward better decision making and can make us better at our communication to others and enhance our self-confidence in the others. Thank you.
What is self-confidence? Types of self-confidence, a brief self-test, and steps to build your self-confidence. What is self-confidence? Self-confidence is the knowledge that you can do something and do it well. Self-confidence comes from first-hand knowledge of the task at hand, knowing your strengths and weaknesses, applying your skills to any situation. Self-confidence is extremely important in almost every aspect of our lives. Next is the types of self-confidence. Low self-confidence is staying in your comfort zone, fearing failure and so avoid taking risk, governing your behavior based on what other people think, working hard to cover up mistakes and hoping that you can fix the problem before anyone notices. Next is the optimal self-confidence. Self-confidence is extremely important in almost every aspect of our lives, yet so many people struggle to find it. People who lack self-confidence can find it difficult to become successful. Self-confident people inspire confidence in others. Third is the overconfidence. Often we come across people who are overconfident, egotistic, and stubborn. Generally, these people have the so-called superiority complex. It is important to be confident, but overconfidence makes you egoistic and irritating. Bragging about your qualities and achievements will not make you reach anywhere.
Self-test. Do you fear or fail to make mistakes? Do you compare yourself with others? Do you doubt your strengths and abilities? Do you feel bad, guilty, nervous, and angry when you don't get what you wanted? Do you say, I am like that only? Or if I? Do you see yourself inferior than others? If any answer for these questions is yes, then I say you are in a state of feeling low confidence. Steps to overcome low self-confidence. Self-acceptance. Accept yourself as you are. Understand, experience is what you get when you don't get what you want. Self-belief. Remember your childhood. You never gave up to stand and walk. Self-image. It's all how you see yourself matters the most. Self-esteem. It's important that you feel good about yourself. Self-talk. What you say to yourself matters the most. Self-analysis. Ask on what you have, and then focus more on where you are lacking behind. Change now. Just as you change channels on your television, just start changing the channel of your life. Action plan for boosting the self-confidence within you. Love and accept yourself as you are. Say yes. Start your day with a smile. Make mistakes and correct it. Give a pat on your back. Count your blessings. Think, feel, and talk positive. Spend time with self-confident people. It is not important to get it right, but it's important to get going. And after these, if you feel you can get going in your life, just remember.
A small boy, the fifth among 7 siblings, was selling newspapers in a small village to earn his living. He was not exceptionally smart at school, but was fascinated by religion and rockets. The first rocket he built crashed. The missiles he built crashed multiple times. But his confidence and get-going spirit in him made him script the book, The Space Odyssey of India, single-handedly. He is Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Dream is not what you see in sleep. It's the thing which does not let you sleep. A school teacher scolded a boy for not paying attention in mathematics, for not solving a simple problem, and said that he would not become anybody in life, but his mother's confidence in him made her coach him mathematics, and the boy went on to become Albert Einstein. When a gentleman invented a communication machine in 1876, it did not ring off the hook with calls from potential backers. After making a demonstration call, the President Rutherford Hayes said, "It's an amazing invention, but who would ever want to see one of them in the future?" These words were said to
Alexander Graham Bell. Are you the type of person who easily get influenced by negative advices? Follow this short self-confidence lesson. Henry Ward Beecher, a prominent congressionalist, clergyman, social reformer, abolitionist, and speaker in the mid to late 19th century. The world will say no in 1,000 ways. No, you can't do that. No, you are wrong. No, you are too old. No, you are too young. No, you are too weak. No, it will never work. No, you don't have the education. No, you don't have the background. No, you don't have the money. No, it can't be done. And each no you hear has the potential to erode your confidence bit by bit until you quit altogether. Though the world says no to you today, you should be determined to say yes and prove it. Confidence does not come when you have all the answers, but it comes when you are ready to face all the questions. And at the end, I would like to say a winner is not the one who never fails, but the one who never quits.
The meaning of a man as a person. The term person cannot be exclusively attached to human being, since not all persons are considered human being and vice versa. A business entity is a person, which it is not a human being. On the other hand, slave is a human being, but it is not considered as a person by virtue of his being vested of his rights as a human being, which being considered as a mere object, not an existing person. To speak of man as a being with others is to speak of man as a person. Man as a person means that man is unique, a who, a subject, and a self. Man is never alone in his existence in the world. Man has that indelible trademark of his being with existence in the world. Man's personhood should not be contrasted to man's humanity and individuality. The personhood and man's individuality manifest man's individuality in personhood. Personhood means pagkatao or pagkatao.
Love of God, of oneself, of neighborhood, and of country. Matthew chapter 22, verse 35 to 40, TEV. A teacher of the law tried to trap him with a question. "Teachers," he asked, "which is the greatest commandment in the law?" Jesus answered, "Love the Lord, your God with all your heart, with all the soul, and with all your mind." When we love God only, all by Himself, we are saying that we love Him with all of our hearts. When we discover more satisfaction in God than any other person or object, we truly adore Him with all of our heart. When we choose to carry out God's every command, we demonstrate our undying or our unwavering love for Him. The second most important commandments. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. The common understanding of loving one's neighbors as a oneself is an affinity. for kindness, patience, gentleness, and so on in interpersonal relationship. Of course, this view is correct. The simplest method to prevent doing wrong to other is to concrete on doing what is right. Yes, Jesus made it simple by breaking down the whole law into two. But just because something is simple does not mean it is easy. These 10 commandments are two of the hardest ones to live by. This is a 2-part article on the 2 most important commandments. This one will be able loving the Lord with all your heart, and the next one will be loving your neighbor as yourself. Jesus doesn't just say that our lives will be better if we do this. He doesn't say that these are the nice ideas. He said that I must love the Lord, my God, with all my heart, as if it is essential to really living my life. God is love, and that is why we are able to love.
So what does it mean when we say love of God of oneself, of neighbor, and of country? Meaning, we are talking to our Almighty Father, the Highness, and the Creator of heaven and earth. Love of God is pure. He created us, even our neighbors who live in a country. So meaning, to love by God as fully or as a whole and totally as general with one heart and mind. According to the Bible, loving our neighbors are the greatest commandments of all. These two are inseparable. We cannot say that I love God, but you hate or nothing to do with your neighbor. When you love God, it should be sincere and without any regrets, feeling of guilt, anxious, and disabilities. This is the reasons why God is love, and that is why we are able to love.
We should love God. Without Him, there's no wonderful beings to be created, no intelligent beings, no universe, nor life. Without God, there's no love and life. Without God, there's no humans who are created in His very own image. We are His children. We should accept Him in our life, and we should serve Him as His servants.
Love of a country can also called as patriotism, or feeling of attachment and commitment to country, nation, or political community. Our country land gives us a place to live, a place to expand our knowledge. It gives us a great form to represent ourselves. It gives us an identity of where we are truly belong.
Maraming kabutihan ang makikita sa ating mga Pilipino, ngunit marami rin ang kailangang baguhin. If we have to succeed in nation building, we must start with people building by taking a close look at ourselves. Then we can see that many of our strong points are also source of our weaknesses. The strengths and weaknesses of the Filipino have their roots in many factors such as family and home environment, religion, economic environment, political environment, mass media, and leadership and role models. Family and home environment. The main components of the home environment, they develop a mindset that things learned in schools are not related to real life. The lack of suitable local textbooks and dependence on foreign textbooks, particularly in the higher school levels. Aside from the influences of the formal curriculum, there are the influences of the hidden curriculum. Example, the values taught informally by the Philippine school system. Schools are highly authoritarian, with the teacher as the central focus. The Filipino students learn passivity and conformity. The Filipino student is taught to be dependent on the teacher. Filipino students, as well as their teachers, were forced to use school materials that are irrelevant to the Philippine setting. Next is religion. Religion is the root of the Filipino optimism and its capacity to accept life's hardships. However, religion also instills in the Filipino attitudes of resignation and the preoccupation with the afterlife. we become vulnerable also to being victimized by opportunism, oppression, exploitation, and superstition. Economic environment. Many Filipino traits are rooted in poverty and hard life that is the lot of most Filipinos. Our difficulties drive us to take risks, impel us to work very hard, and develop in us the ability to survive. Poverty, however, has also become an excuse for graft and corruption, particularly among the lower ranks of the bureaucracy. And political environment. The Philippine political environment is characterized by a centralization of power. Political power and authority is concentrated in the hands of the elite, and the participation of most Filipinos often is limited to voting in elections. Basic services for the government are concentrated in Manila and its outlying towns and provinces. Political power, still very much concentrated in the hands of a few, may lead to passivity. Mass media. It means technology is intended to reach a mass audience. It is the primary means of the communication used to reach the vast majority of the general public. The most common platform for media are the newspaper, magazine, radio, television, and the latest is the internet. The tendency of media to produce escapist movies, soap operas, hobbies, and etc. feed the Filipinos' passivity rather than comfort our poverty and oppression. We fantasize instead of propensity to use flashy set, designer clothes, superstars, and other bomba. Future reinforced form. Leadership and role models. Filipinos look up to their leaders as role models. Political leaders are the main models, but all other leaders serve a role model as well. Thus, when our leaders violate the law or show themselves to be self-serving and driven by personal interests, when there is the lack of public accountability, there is a negative impact on the Filipinos.
The strength and weakness of the Filipino character.
Filipino have a very strong and resilient character. This was developed by the hardship and challenges we have faced throughout our history. Foreign powers have conquered our lands but never defeated our spirit. Among our positive traits are pakikipagkapwa-tao, regard for others. The positive and weakness of the Filipino have their own causes and many types, such as the home environment, the social environment, culture and their language, their history, educational system, their religion, economic environment, the political environment, mass media, and leadership and role models goals.
The Filipinos should develop sense of patriotism and national pride, a genuine sensitiveness, love, their appreciation and concern to the Philippines and the things Filipino, a sense of common good, the ability to seek beyond selfish in terms of interest, and a sense of outrage at its violation, a sense of integrity. The strength of the Filipino characters are kindness, fairness, hope, teamwork, and judgment.
The weakness of the Filipino character. Number 1, extreme family-centeredness. Number 2, extreme personalism. Number 3, lack of discipline. Number 4, passivity and lack of initiative. Number 5, colonial mentality. Number 6, kanya-kanya syndrome or talangka mentality. Number 7, lack of self-analysis and self-reflection. Thank you.